The Alleghany Journal is delighted to host Pastor David Hanks of the Iron Gate Baptist Church, and he's here to speak with us today about a neat event coming up this Sunday. Welcome, Pastor Hanks.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, tell the public about the special prayer event, community prayer event that's going to happen this Sunday.
Yes, the Eastern Allegheny Christian Ministers Association is hosting a prayer event for schools. We'll be praying for everybody from the superintendents to teachers, students, bus drivers, coaches, parents, even. And I think this is a really neat event because I don't know anywhere else where all denominations of faith are welcome and come together in prayer. And it seems like people enjoy the fellowship there too.
It's really true. Like you said, non denominational. And what's really cool is the diversity of people that we've seen there. In fact, I think it was either last year or not, no, it may have been a prior year. You had students from all, and you even had a contingent from Boys Home.
Yes, I think that was last year. The boys' home came, and I need to reach out to them and make sure they know about it. I don't like waiting and making sure somebody else has notified somebody. So I'll call them today and make sure that they know. But that was neat because you had, I think that was their minister. I forget what denomination she was, and then you had the local pastors. I think we had some police officers, a couple of them, the school resource officer, and then the I think we had the was it the superintendent of
Well,
Allegheny Highlands?
I don't know if it was last year or not, but you
He's
certainly,
been there.
yeah. And what's really cool about that is that your group has a pastor or speaker for every category.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
you had a guest speaker as well.
yes, that is something that I think Lynn Agee gets credit for that. Her super organization skills, and I think she's been an asset to the Ministers Association. And that's something to bring up too. She's a music minister, but we welcome her with open arms to our association. She's really helped us organize.
Well, let's see, you had a Pastor Shorty Wolf gave a nice welcome last year. It looks like he may do so again. But you've got Lynn Agee's going to be playing music, Billy Berberette, Dale Mooterspaw, Skip McMullen, Robin Powell, Megan Powell, Abigail Powell, and Michelle Wright. That's just musically. And then with respect to, you have a guest speaker, Angela Houderschelt. And then let's talk briefly. You have arranged a bunch of pastors to specifically pray for given groups.
Mm-hmm.
For example, children and students, Abigail Bush will be speaking about that. Are there any other special groups that you wanted to highlight?
Um, if there are, I can't really think of any.
I think you've
Um,
even got Chris Fisher showing up.
yes, he's going to be praying for resource officers and safety. One thing I want to point out about backing up a minute to Abigail Bush, she's our first graduate from Covenant Christian Academy.
Yes.
And so she's like, in a way, she's the fruit of our labor. She's one that we've been praying for. She's a student. She's been a recipient of our prayers the last several years. And to see her successful, I think it's really part of it's her parents and the teachers around her, but prayer, I think, has a big part of that.
And what made you come up with this concept of prayer for school related things? It's not that we all couldn't use it, but you oftentimes you in events you may see government and this kind of thing, but in this particular case, it's school related prayers, and you're covered the various aspects. So, I mean, there must have been a reason why you thought particularly of a school division.
I think, watching the violence across the nation, there's been numerous school shootings that, and we don't want anything like that to happen in our area. And we want the Lord to put His hand out there and prevent a lot of them across the nation, all of them if possible. The safety is one reason, but also the individual children. There's so much today to distract them. They need prayer, and this event is really just the first base. Us pastors are going to be praying for these kids throughout the year. But I think just that the child would be able to focus and the teachers would be able to teach them successfully. And I think really the idea, I think Lynn Agee had a big part of bringing it up, but just praying for each of these things. There's so many cogs that work in the school system. If you think about the transportation, the teachers, the parents, the coaches, even the janitors. If a janitor, if we don't cover him in prayer and he has a bad day, bathrooms aren't getting cleaned right. So I think a lot of it is just a love for the kids and the schools and everybody involved.
You had the good sense to be holding this inside this year. It's been very hot. And in previous years, sometimes it was warm, sometimes it wasn't, but it could be suffocating sometimes. It's so hot lately. And so this event will be held at the Central United Methodist Church inside the sanctuary. And then music and the whole atmosphere. I just think the venue you've chosen is excellent.
Thank you. And I have to give credit to all the pastors in the association because we don't just one of us make a decision, run with it. We're a team. And that goes back to the non-denominational thing. We lay those things aside and we come together to try to help the community.
Jerry. And Pastor Hanks, the Eastern Alleghany Christian Ministerial Association does a variety of good deeds throughout the year, like helping stranded travelers and other things. So that kind of goodwill is just, it's irreplaceable. And we thank you all for it.
I think it puts Jesus' teaching to practice, where He said, love your neighbor as yourself. Jerry, we treat ourselves pretty good. But I take care of my neighbor, and that is a convicting point for me. And that's one reason why I've tried to step up and help with some of these projects is I want to do what He said, love your neighbor as yourself. And
you can't beat that philosophy.
If I was lost somewhere, my car broke down, I'd want somebody to come along and help me, give me a motel room if I didn't have enough cash, or give me a bite to eat. And who knows what a little bit of love will do for somebody.
Well, you nailed it. And we thank you all again for putting together a prayer program specifically devoted to the area school division. And once again, we thank you very much for taking the time to spread the good word to the entire Alleghany Highlands community.
Thank you, sir, for your time too. We really appreciate you.